All right, so as we're continuing to work with multiplying matrices, we're now going to look at a test of the commutative property to see if the commutative property holds true in the multiplication of matrices. Now we know that in the commutative property of multiplication, if A times B is going to equal B times A. So in other words, if I got 3 times 5, well, that's going to equal 5 times 3. They're both going to equal 15. But now we're multiplying matrices. And so we've got two matrices here. We got an A and a B. And we're being asked to determine, does A times B equal B times A? Now, we know that we're looking at rows and columns, so this is a 2 by 2 matrix, and this also is a 2 by 2. So the number of rows in the first matrix equals the number of columns in the first matrix equals the number of rows in the second matrix. And we got square matrices here. And so we're good to go on that part of it. So let's move over to the calculator, and we're going to enter this, because we know how tedious this can be to do by hand. And we're going to enter this in the calculator, and then we're going to just simply multiply matrix A times B, and then turn around and multiply B times A, and see if we get the same results. All right, well, we're over here at the on our calculator, and so we've got two 2 by 2 matrices, and we're going to enter those. Then we're going to multiply matrix A times B, and then turn around and multiply B times A, and see if we get the same results. So let's go in here to matrix, and let's see. I need to edit matrix A, and it is going to be a 2 by 2, 2 rows, 2 columns. And our data in there is going around across the row is 4, -1, and 5, -2. Okay, 4, -1, 5, -2. So that's got that matrix. Now we're going to edit matrix B. And go over here to the edit features, put the cursor down to B. Let's redefine it as a 2 by 2, and then enter our data. And on this matrix, of course, this is coming from page 182 on the textbook, example 4. I got -3 and 6. And in row 2, we've got -4. And 5. Okay. All right. So I think we're ready to multiply. All right. So we're going to start off. I'm going to go back into matrix. I'm going to choose, first we're going to multiply A times matrix B. Second matrix, choose matrix B. Hit enter. All right, well, there's the multiplication of that. -8, 19, -7, 20. I think you'll probably agree that's much easier than doing it by hand, but at least you know what the concept is by hand. That's important. And now let's do the reverse. Let's see what B times A is. So I'm going to go second matrix. This time I'm going to choose matrix B first. And we're going to multiply it times matrix A. Okay, so I got B times A. Let's hit enter and see what our results are. And we see that we have totally different results. So what this tells us is that the commutative property of multiplication does not hold true for matrix multiplication. The order in which we multiply the matrices is very important because we have two different results. Again, if this was just If we were just in real numbers, the multiplication property, the commutative property of multiplication would hold true. 3 times 5 equals 5 times 3, but obviously we've demonstrated here that matrix A times B does not equal matrix B times A. Quite a bit different, in fact. All right. Next up, distributive property.